Hey everybody, this is Dan from painfreeyou.com. I have the pleasure today of meeting with Sumit Kumar from India, and he wanted to share his success story with this TMS mind-body approach. And so Sumit, hello, welcome, and
Thank you, Dan. Thank you very much.
take it away. Let me know what's going on.
Yeah. So it all started in the year 2015, in the month of August, when I started experience this stiffness in my neck and the pain and the restricted range of motion. So I had joined the gym for 2 weeks then, and when the neck pain started, my first thought was that I must have done something wrong in the gym. I must have done some exercise in the wrong form. I have literally zero idea about TMS and the all mind body stuff back then. So I went to a local physician after 2 or 3 days because I thought that it might go away, but when it didn't, so I went to the physician and he asked me about the symptoms, and I asked him whether I should go for an X-ray or not, because I must tell you, I'm a overthinking person from the very beginning of my childhood. So I always think about the worst. So I asked him whether I should go for an X-ray or not. He said, no need. You just gulp these pills for 2 or 3 days and you will be okay. So I said okay, and then I ate the medicines, but it gave me no relief. So I went to a physiotherapy center a week later, and then I already had searched the symptoms and the causes of neck pain by then, and the Google is all negative about the stuff that you must have cervical spondylosis, you must have a disc bulge, you must have this and that. So I just freaked out and I went to a local physiotherapy center, and just before entering the physiotherapy room, my mind was going crazy. Like, what will they do? I had no idea what will the manipulation done to me? What will be the diagnosis? I didn't know. I just went in and they just gave me some heat packs and manipulated my muscles, but I didn't get any relief, I must tell you. And after 1 or 2 months, it kind of just settled in. I left the gym. I left the workout because the moment I started to work out, it's kind of just came back right back in. So I just left the workouts, left the home workout, gym, everything. I just went with the yoga, the stretching, the all the techniques, pranayama. So it kind of went smooth for a few months, and then next year, after 6 months in 2016, my marriage was due. So in my subconscious mind, I didn't want to face. In India, I must tell you, the marriage ceremony is this much grand. All the relatives gathers, and there's so much crowd. And as an introvert person, my subconscious mind just got freaked out. How will I handle all that much attention and all kind of stuff? So on the day of my marriage, I still remember it was the worst acute attack. My neck just froze and it was all stiff. I couldn't move it to single degree that day. I thought, what went wrong? I didn't do any exercise. I didn't lift anything. I didn't rode a bike on bumpy roads. So I kind of thought about running away from the ceremony. The pain was that much worse. Yeah. So after the ceremony was over, 2 days later, it started to calm down. So I thought, wow, what was that? So again, I had no idea about the TMS. I always thought it is something structural problem. So I again went to the medical institute, the medical college of my district, my town. So the orthopedic surgeon described me an X-ray, and while looking at the X-ray, he told me you have a slight degeneration around C3, C4. I don't remember. It doesn't matter now. I don't know which area he pointed out.
Right.
So he told me it was slight degeneration, you must not take thick pillows, you must not bend, you must not lift heavy weights, you have to take precautions. And he gave me some medicines, and the medicines was mostly to numb my pain, and it also numbed my brain. I was so sleepy those days.
Right.
I could barely stand up and eat or walk. The moment I stand up from my bed, I just feel dizzy due to the all that side effects of those medicines. So I threw away the medicines, and I told myself I will go again with yoga and I will do stretchings or Ayurveda. I also followed Ayurveda. You must know Ayurveda is an ancient Indian science of medications.
Mhm.
So I also consulted some Ayurveda doctors. They gave me medicines. I also completed their courses, and after 2 or 3 months, I felt completely normal. Completely normal means completely. I didn't have any pain. All the traces of pain were gone after 2 or 3 months after my marriage. And in between those days, my transfer was also due near my hometown. I was in a government job back then in New Delhi, and after then I got nearer to my hometown. I got some relief from my symptoms, and it kind of went well. And I started my workout again. I resumed my workouts gradually. So it went well for 4 years, from 2017 to 2021, last year till July of 2021.
Right.
And then something happened related to my job. It was a tough assignment. It was yet to be assigned, but the orders was kind of ready. So it was very much frustrating, and it was kind of stressful. So I didn't know what happened, but again the pain suddenly came back after 4 years in July last year, and it was again with much intensity. The pain have very much intensity than the
Right.
was in 2016. So I again went to, I panicked and again went to an orthopedic surgeon. He again prescribed an X-ray, and he again, after examining my neck, and I must tell you, few of the listeners who are still suffering from neck pain, they might have experienced this symptom. The moment you go before an X-ray machine or MRI, your pain signal just went mad. Just go mad. Your pain just increases in intensity when you are standing next to the X-ray machine, because you don't know what will be the diagnosis. Now,
The
what
fear.
will the orthopedic surgeon tell you that you have the degeneration, you have the bulging, you have the herniation? It is all uncertain. So um, uh, I I also have researched the symptoms related to cervical spondylosis, and the Google told that you might experience vertigo. For the last 4 years, back in 2016, I have never experienced vertigo. But the moment I read the symptoms that vertigo is also a symptom of this neck
Yeah.
stiffness and cervical stuff, so I suffered with vertigo for 1 week. For your surprise, I also experienced vertigo. It was the first time, and my brain was convinced that definitely this is something structural, because now you have also vertigo, which was not before. Now you also have vertigo, so your condition might have worsened now that you are experiencing vertigo. So it must be something structural. So I took the injections, I took the pills. uh, I left. I can tell you, it was the worst pain. I couldn't even lift a 2 liter bottle of water. It was that much. But the moment I lifted a bottle, my muscles just went stiff. My neck got
Right.
locked. I couldn't move it. I couldn't think of anything else except my pain. I I avoided my work for 2 weeks. I took few days off, and I just laid on my bed the whole day
Right.
for 2 weeks. And after that, I got another transfer. Hopefully, luckily, that assignment that I was talking about, it got cancelled, and I got another transfer further nearer to my hometown. And then I explored some physiotherapy center, and there is one good physiotherapist in my town. His name is Ashish. If he's listening to this video, I will definitely share a link with him. And I'm glad that I found him because he gave some technique. It is called MFR, myofascial release. They kind of press the trigger points and release your stiff muscles. And those, when the muscles got relaxed, my pain suddenly went away, and I started exploring another options. Because before that, I couldn't think of anything else because I was damn sure that is structural. Because the pain is so much worse. The stiffness can convince you that you have something structural, because it is so much worse. So after visiting the him, Ashish, physiotherapist, for 2 sessions, I got about 60% relief in my pain and stiffness, and I could explore other options. And it was the day, I still remember, it was 11th January 2022 that I jumped across a video about TMS. Maybe it was the Almighty's plan to land me there, because I had no idea about TMS. Just this video popped up in my YouTube feed, and it was of the what is the name of the channel? A Pain Cure Clinic. Yours is Pain Free You, and that channel is Pain Cure Clinic. And then I don't remember the name of those guys, but they gave me the directions to research about TMS. Then I further researched about the Dr. John Sarno, the TMS stuff. I read the ebook Healing Back Pain. I still, yes, I still have read it halfway. I have not completed it yet, but those half 125 pages I think I have read, those were enough to convince me that I am a sufferer of TMS. Then I landed on your page. I watched your almost 50 to 55 videos. I have not completed them all, but I have watched them.
It'll take you a long time.
Yeah. And I mostly watch your pain-free stories that you feature. Then I thought about it, that I must give it a try. I must share my journey with you. Because this term TMS is not so much popular in our country. We have a population of around more than 130 crore in India, and we have crores of patients who are suffering from back pain and neck pain, and they are going through the traditional medical regime. They don't know about the TMS stuff. So I also have started my YouTube channel 1 month before in Hindi for my Hindi fellow Hindi speakers who don't understand English well, or who have no access to your channel. So I will share that link with you if you can paste in the description, and some fellow from India who are interested in my story, they can watch it here.
Yeah, definitely send it to me. Send it to me, and I will share it in the description for sure.
Should I paste it here, the link, my channel?
It's not going to show up in the video, so you can do that, but you can send it to me afterwards.
Okay, I will email you. So one important thing I missed discussing here, that before 2015 that I experienced my neck pain. Before that, I had also experienced some symptoms related to anxiety, chest pain, throat pain, swelling problems. It was all psychosomatic. I visited every doctor, the cardiologist, the ENT specialist. They told me there is nothing wrong with you. The ECG is normal, your endoscope is normal. It's all in your head, but they tell you most of the time. So it is a correlation that I made, that I had experienced those symptoms, psychosomatic symptoms back then, around 2011. I was 20 years old back then, quite young.
Right.
Those symptoms, but I think there is no age, there is no criteria for age to experience TMS. You must have some patients who are 60 years of or 60-year-old. Some might be 16-year-old. So
there's no age limit.
There is no age limit to experience all those symptoms. Yeah. So I have experienced all sort of symptoms. So, but I must, and then coming to the next question, that what made me feel well, or but was a turning point. Because most of the patients know about TMS, but they don't know how to apply this approach. So what helped me was the not giving attention to the symptoms
Right.
most of the time. When I must tell you, I still have traces of the pain left. I cannot say that I am 100% cured, but I am 80 to 85% cured. I can do all normal things now. I can live my normal life again. I can follow daily routine. I can go out to the parties. I'm not restricted to my bedroom anymore. But pain, the slight traces of pain are still there. And sometimes it again gets worse. But now I know how to handle it. Just by not giving it attention, that it is not structural, it will fade away with that trust in my heart. And to my surprise, when sometimes I still experience pain, I just let it go. I don't give it attention. I just sleep it off, and next day I feel well. So this is my message to all the listeners, that you must not freak out with the pain. Once you have convinced yourself that you have TMS, then there is no turning back. You must follow it with all your heart, and you must have faith in yourself that there is always a light at the end of the tunnel. You will definitely be healed, but you have to trust the process. You have to reinforce the reminders prescribed by John Sarno, and I respect him with all my heart. He was a true saint. We cannot thank him enough. So let me have a look.
That's great. So from the time that you learned about TMS until you started really feeling better, how much time was that? A few months?
2.5 months to be precise.
Yeah.
2.5 months.
Yeah. So just
January to March, mid-March.
Yeah, the point here is that even though you had years worth of pain, once you got the right message and became very clear that you were okay, there was nothing wrong, you got better reasonably quick. Now, what I will tell you is your approach is wonderful. Don't give it the attention. Don't buy into the fear. And it all boils down to the fact that you now know that you don't have a physical problem. Your neck is perfectly fine.
Yes,
right?
Definitely.
And so it's the clarity, it's the knowledge that I'm actually okay. There's nothing here that is damaged or broken. And with that accurate knowledge, you can turn down the fear, you shift your attention back to living your life, and the brain realizes you're safe, and it can actually turn off the pain. So should you have any recurrence of pain, stick with the process, because it's clearly working, and it has worked. And with consistency, it'll eventually turn off completely and stop showing up.
It will take some time, because it's years of accumulated stuff back there. So it will take some time to go away.
One of the things I'll suggest also is that something to be very clear with yourself is that stressful times do not have to turn on the pain. We can still lead a very stressful life, because it seems like some of your pain got worse at some stressful times. The marriage, job changes, transfers to different locations, which were all very stressful times. So I'm going to encourage you to separate and break those two things apart to say, as I experience stressful times in the future, I don't need to hurt. There's no reason for me to hurt. Now, look, if you do hurt, you can call it out and say, I know what this is, and quickly get it to resolve. But you can also be clear that stress does not have to equal pain, right? So that's a good next step for you, is to be very clear that life is stressful. You're going to experience stress for sure. And so don't automatically assume every time I get stressed, I'm going to hurt. That's not true. I still have plenty of stress in my life, and I've got no symptoms.
Yes, and one more thing I want to share that
Of course.
must also stop all your medication, all the medical treatment you are going through, because I just uh, literally left all my medications aside, and I didn't take one single pill after January. The moment I watched the TMS related videos, I left my medication completely. I stopped all the physical treatment.
Yeah. So just to be very clear, neither Sumit or I are giving anybody medical advice.
Yes.
To suggest stopping your medication is the way to get better. That's not for he or I to say. That's a decision you need to make between yourself and your medical doctor. Dr. Sarno did say stop physical treatments, but medication is the type of thing where you're going to want to work with your doctor and make a decision. Some people take medications and still get better. Some people are able to, with the proper guidance from their doctors, stop taking medications. The reason Dr. Sarno said stop physical treatments was because it confuses the brain. As long as you're treating the body, the brain thinks it's a body problem.
But
So
then I think no doctor will tell you to leave your medication.
I understand that. I get that. But I don't want you to be giving advice to the audience to say stop your medication. That's not your place. You're not a doctor. I'm not a doctor. We cannot make that. So I'm just being very clear to the audience. We cannot recommend to take it or not take it.
Yes, it's just my personal experience.
Yeah, which is fine. I just wanted to be very clear there. There's
I understand.
Yeah, the need to be accurate with that is important. So I'm not going to get into a long discussion about medications. People can reach out to me if they've got questions on it. And I can, if you go to my YouTube channel, I do have a couple of videos speaking specifically about medication. So just clarifying. This is great stuff. So feeling 85% better at this point. Sometimes it goes up, but if it does, you know what to do about it. You know what it is, which is wonderful. So it sounds like you've got your life back.
I'm just looking forward to the days when it's completely gone and I can just look back and happily say it's over now. I'm looking forward to that day.
And that day will come when you stop looking for it to come. In other words, make living your life more important than getting the last 15% gone. Live your life. Be clear. There's nothing wrong with you. You're still young. These minor changes, a little bit of degeneration doesn't mean anything, right? And so it's teaching your brain that you're safe, right? Because I don't know if you've heard my presentations on perceived danger pain.
Yeah, I have watched it.
Pain is created by the brain perceiving danger. And as soon as you started to have this pain and you started to fear structural problems, the pain got worse and worse and worse. The more fear there was, and the more uncertainty that maybe you had a neck problem. And then the muscles tighten up, not because the muscles are the problem. The tight muscles are kind of the result of the perceived danger. It's a protective mechanism. Because if your brain thinks you've got a neck that's not well, it's going to want to tighten the muscles so you don't move, because the brain is saying, don't move your neck. You might hurt yourself. And so it tenses up. And so that's the result of the issue, not the actual cause. So this is great stuff, Sumit. Anything else you want to add, or that's?
Let's add, pardon for my lexical errors. I'm not a native English speaker.
It's okay. You do well.
Yeah.
Unless you've got anything else, we'll wrap this up. Please send me that link to your YouTube channel for any Hindi speaking people, because that may be very useful for them. Were you able to find the closed caption transcriptions? Does YouTube transcribe my videos into your language?
No.
There's a closed caption where it'll translate to like 30 something different languages. I also know there's many dialects in India, so that may or may not work. But on my YouTube channel, there's a closed caption option, and you should be able to choose a language. So it may be worth looking into, just for yourself or anybody else.
Okay, definitely. And personally, I want to thank you with all my heart. You have helped me a lot in this journey, and you inspire millions of people around the world. You are a hope for the chronic pain sufferers, and you are doing a great job.
Well, thank you so much, Sumit. I really appreciate you coming on and telling your story. I'm sure this will help out plenty of people. So with that, everybody, hope you liked this success story. And if you need something from me, painfreeyou.com is my website. If you're new to this work, there is a get help menu, and there's a getting started item under that. It's a great place to learn a little bit more about the cause of pain, whether or not this TMS mind-body stuff applies to you, and also what to do about it. So check that out. Sumit, thank you again. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Dan. One last question,
sure.
If you don't mind. When you upload this video on YouTube, is there any copyright issue if I upload this video on my YouTube channel?
No, that's fine. You can do that. That's okay.
Thank you.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and stop recording. Thank you, Sumit.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, everybody.